had a chance to sit down with Jay Shetty, and here's probably the biggest piece of advice that I learned from him. So I was in LA almost like a year ago, and I was attending this retreat. It was a small, intimate retreat, and there were maybe like 25, 30 people in there. And all we knew was there was going to be a guest speaker that was coming and was joining us for a session. Now, this retreat, it's amazing. It's full of like incredible humans, but one of the highlights of joining this retreat is the guest speakers. And so we were all sat down in this room and there was chatter. Oh, it's going to be this. It's going to be this. I think it's going to be this person. And there were some chatters. And so when we were all sat down, all of a sudden, Jay Shetty walks in the room. And I am talking about like a tiny room. We were probably, it felt like an intimate podcast studio, which was really cool. And the person who was running the retreat, Danielle, was asking a lot of really good questions. And unlike a lot of Jay's interviews, he wasn't really talking about love or dating or being a monk. He was talking about the business side of running a company. Now, he runs a multi-million dollar company. He has multiple brands, social media accounts. He's producing a ton of content every single day. And for me, the thing that stood out the most was he said this line, and I'm going to have my computer here because honestly, the line was so good that I don't want to botch it up. He said, there is a very big difference between success and happiness. Just because you are successful, it doesn't mean that you will be happy. And just because you are happy, it doesn't mean you will be successful. And the more I started to think about this, the more I was like, wow, that's so deep and that's so profound. Because a lot of us, we have been conditioned to think that I will be happy once I hit the number that I've been saving for, or once I get the job, once I have this much in the bank. And we are actually banking on that and attaching our happiness towards an external metric. An external metric that we cannot really control because it is always moving. You hit $10,000 a month and then you'll be like, oh, but if I hit $10,000 and I can hit $20,000, I hit $20,000, I can hit $100,000 a month. And the bar just keeps moving. And so your happiness, the bar towards I will be happy when, that will keep moving as well. And I've experienced this. I used to think that I would be so much happier once we've made this amount of money in our company. You know, when we first started our company years ago, almost like 12 years ago, in fact, our goal was to make $3,000. Like that was the goal. I was like, if Tom and I can make $3,000, we could travel, we could pitch hotels and stay in the hotels for free and we'll write about it. Like that was our big dream. And then now I remember when we first hit the first $10,000 month, this was way back in like 2017. We were both like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's try for 20. Let's aim for 50. Let's hit $100,000 cash months. And we were doing that. And I realized that no matter what you are chasing, no matter what metric you are chasing, if you are tying your happiness to an external metric, I will be happy if I reach this. I will be happy once he loves me. I will be happy if I lose weight. I will be happy if I get the job. It's never going to make you happy. And so I think for us, the big shift, and I've seen this in our companies, our second company, we optimized for money. We optimized for success. We were working all the time. We were constantly in that mode of growth and hustle. And I wouldn't say that we weren't happy, but I wouldn't say that we were more stressed out than anything. And as we've gotten older, as our businesses have started to grow, I realized that we started optimizing for a completely different thing. We were optimizing for happiness. And during the interview with Jay, he was just like, well, it's easy. He was just like, there are codes for happiness and codes for success. If you want to be successful, you set up a rule or set up a certain set of codes that you follow. I'm going to keep investing in myself. I'm going to keep learning new skills. I'm going to be putting yourself out there, watching what other people are doing. Like, there are codes for you to be successful. You can go on ChatGPT and ask it to give you a plan for success, and chances are it's going to lay out the entire strategy. But the codes for happiness are completely different. Codes for happiness is spending time in nature, being with family, having great relationships, making time for yourself, going to the gym. You can install these codes in your life, but the problem is, if we are optimizing for success, sometimes the codes for happiness is the first to go. Even I'm guilty of this during busy periods. Sometimes I'm like, should I go to the gym, or should I finish what I'm working on, because I just want to get it out? And I realized that that's not good. And that's something that I've been working on. It's knowing what I am optimizing for. And there will be periods where you might be optimizing for both, but just know that happiness is never going to come from an external source. Happiness needs to come from you. You need to be so freaking alive and excited in who you are and how you are showing up in the world and in your relationships. And no amount of success can ever affect that, because happiness is internal. We need to source it from ourselves versus looking at external factors. And so if you are optimizing something for success, then go ahead, follow the rule book, create a set of codes so that you will become successful. If you watch my last video, I actually talk about some of the 4 signs that I see in people, whether they will become successful or not. And it's such a good video. If you are optimizing for happiness, okay, how do you add that into your routine? I have a client, and I literally told her, I was just like, there is no strategy that you need right now. The strategy is you living your life, you enjoying, you just making the most out of your life and actually enjoying it. Actually taking yourself out to dinner, going to the gym, buying a new set of workout clothes that will make you happy, that actually make you go to the gym. Like, the codes for happiness are there. And so sometimes it is creating that very clear definition between both and saying, okay, I am in a season in my life where I am optimizing for this. I'm in the season of my life, I'm optimizing for both. Great. But do not confuse the two, because I think that's where these big emotions come up. When you confuse the two, when you confuse that, oh, but I thought I would be happier. I remember this was way back, maybe even like 2018, and we were hitting $50,000 months or $60,000 months. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I thought I would be happier. And of course, with that comes the guilt of, why am I not happy? This is something that I used to pray for. Like, if previous Anna, who wanted to make $3,000, ever found out that I was making this amount of money, she would be like, what the hell are you doing? But I realized I was unhappy because I was linking my happiness to this external thing. My self-worth was linked to this external thing versus outsourcing my happiness internally. Being so rock solid in who I am, how I'm showing up in the world, the relationships that I am building. And so I want you to just pause, ask yourself, have a general, honest conversation with yourself, and ask yourself, what am I optimizing for right now? How can I create codes for success? And how can I create codes for happiness? And how can I make sure that I never confuse the two? If you enjoyed this video, I'm Anna Rogers. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear from you.